Hi there, this is Nicola and welcome to my channel, Forever Young Autobiographies. Today we're talking about writing time, how to schedule more time for your writing. Now stay tuned to the end because I'll have a free gift for viewers. If this is the first time to my channel, welcome. It's where we learn to write life stories for family and friends so that unique memories can live on. I'd love for you to subscribe and like this video. Now, I live here in Australia and we love swimming, grown up swimming, and I especially love watching it on the Olympics. Now, it may only be a few minutes or a few seconds in some cases, but these races are a really long journey for these athletes. They've spent years training for this often. And it can be the same with our autobiography. We have a goal in mind, but we don't just wake up and one day and go, I'm going to write a book, I'll just do it today. It's going to take a lot of planning and it's going to take a lot of writing time. So I've got some suggestions for you today to get started. Now, like these athletes, these swimmers, they have a big goal in mind and they need to break it down, they need to define it. So they might want to swim at the Olympics. We might want to write our entire life story, autobiography, or we might be helping a loved one do this. They're all big projects. So that's great, we've got a goal, but we need to break that down. Now you might think, maybe I'd like to get this done by a certain date. It could be a milestone, say you're retiring, or it might be a milestone birthday for a loved one. So, a 90th birthday, you'd like to get that book written for them for that occasion. So a deadline is a great one to have a definitive end to, or something to aim for. So yes, we've got a deadline. Then you might like to think about, okay, how long? How many chapters am I thinking? Is this going to just be a short summary or is it going to be a complete book? Have that in your mind, break it down. Even further, when you're organising your writing time, you need to think about, how much time have I got available to work on this project, say each week? And what time of the day and what days does this look like? So have a think, have a play, but keep in mind that whatever you come up with for scheduling your writing time, it needs to be a time and that really suits you. You've got good energy levels and you're motivated. And of course, any schedule needs to be realistic. I'm guilty of that one. You just can't do everything, so make sure it's realistic. So that's really point one. But point two is, like these swimmers, our Olympic swimmers, you need to train. In our case, you need to write. You need to get that first draft, that second draft even done. So if you're new to writing, you don't want to just flat out sprint, do we? We just want to start out slowly and get a flow. So you might like to just do a warm-up exercise to get you comfortable when you're sitting down in your writing time. It could be something that happened that day, something that you're grateful for. It could only be just 5 or 10 minutes. And then once you get that sort of, first easy win, I suppose, then you can start writing on something, a story to do with your life, or if you're working on someone else's life story, something that you're keen to write down. Now, go in where you're excited to write. That's a really good tip. Make sure you've got the motivation to write. And if you are a beginner, you don't have to fill a notebook each session. Just write 1 page or maybe 12 sentences. If you just do 1 page, like I'm talking a small notebook, if you just do 1 page a day, then imagine that on top of each day for a month or for a year. You are going to have over 300 pages by the end of a year, and that you are well on your way to finishing your project. So start out slowly, but by all means, if you are on a roll and you want to do more pages, that's awesome. Keep going. Go with that flow. But then conversely, if life gets in the way, you get sick, you go on holidays or you have people to visit, you might skip a session, but have a backup time. Try and catch up so you don't lose that momentum. We want to make this a consistent habit, this writing. So that would be point number 2. The final point for this video, and coming back to these swimmers again, is to review your progress. Now, athletes do this all the time. You know, sports journalists love all their stats on how teams have gone in the past, and coaches as well on how players are performing. And we should take time to do that. Not to the same degree, of course, but we should take a little bit of time to note down key things about each writing time that we have in our schedule. So it might be at the end of your writing session. Just make a note of things like the time, where you were, so the environment. You might not be at your desk, your normal writing desk. So time and where. What were you feeling at that time? Were you really tired? Were you stressed? Were you relaxed? Then what were you writing about? Sometimes the topic that you're writing about can have an influence on how you write. So the topic's an important one. Words. How many words did you get down during a session? And then, if you'd like, calculate how many words per minute that equates to. Now, this sounds like a lot of data, but if you just make it a habit again, it will really add up. And then it's really valuable because you can look back and see some trends and draw some conclusions like, oh, I'm really great at writing first thing in the morning at home on the back veranda, say, for example. And you go, okay, I need to do more of that. Or this time and this place didn't really work. Okay, I'm not going to really try that. So you'll get to know your own habits. So that's probably my final point today. I'm just going to recap. First of all, you need to know your goal, which is writing a book, but be specific. And then we need to start out and get a writing flow, a routine. And be easy on yourself if you're a new writer. Make it a habit. Then the third thing is we need some way to review how we're going. And that's what I was saying about making some notes each session. So that's like what every autobiographer should know about getting more writing done. How to plan your writing and make sure that you're consistent and get that first draft finished. If you'd like to know more on this topic, I have an article on my website, foreveryoungautobiographies.com. And if you check down below, I've got some free video training for you on how to nut out your structure or your outline for your chapters for your book. And this is really great if you're starting out and you're developing a schedule, or you've sort of lost your way a little bit and you're trying to come back and regain that momentum. So check that out below. There'll be a link there. It's completely free. And while you're there, put a comment. Let us know about your writing schedule. What do you find is the best time, or what's the worst time? Have you got any tricks or tips to share? It'd be really great if you could do that. Now, I'd also love it if you gave this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful or you got something out of it. It really does help other writers find the channel. And subscribe, hit that logo up there so you know when I've got another video out. And until then, thanks for watching and happy writing.